And we are live. We are coming at you live with our video trading series. And today we're talking about a simple strategy for trading altcoins. Now, altcoins can be very confusing. You probably hear a lot of talk about them. There's a lot of them out there, hundreds of them. There's actually 35 that have a market capitalization of over $1 billion. So there's a lot of altcoins out there. And how do you figure out which ones to invest in? You're going to hear all these people talking about this coin is going to moon, this one's a dead cert, it's an absolute banker. Let's jump on the next coin in the green and ride that train to Profitville, and all that lingo and slang you hear in the altcoin world. But which ones do you invest in? How do you make the decision? Well, I have a friend who has a crazy investment strategy, but it works. He's making a ton of money in altcoins. And he told me that one night he was drunk and somebody mentioned Verge to him, and he looked it up on his phone, and it was trading at about a penny. So this is back in early December. So he said, well, it really can't go anywhere but up. So he bought a whole bunch of it. And obviously you can see what happened in over the period of 1 month. It returned 2,219%. That's a 20 times your investment. Okay, that's in less than 1 month. All right, and at its high, it was even higher than that. At its high, it was at uh, 25 cents. So it was, now it's down. It's running down to about 18 cents. But so it was even higher than that. It went from a penny to 25 cents. So 25 times your investment in just a couple of weeks. And then he was looking at the Verge price, and he was like, well, it's just going up and down here, so it's not really doing much. So he's looking for another coin, and he heard about Ripple. So he moved his money into Ripple, and here you can see Ripple turned a 1,169% return in a month. So that is, again, more than 10 times your investment in just a couple of weeks. So this guy's making a ton of money just buying cheap coins and jumping on the ones that are moving. And at first, I'm listening to him and I'm thinking, okay, well, he jumped on Verge and he made a bunch of money, and then he jumped out of Verge and he jumped into Ripple and he made a bunch of money, and he got lucky. But then I'm thinking, well, maybe he's got something there. Maybe the guy's really got a smart strategy. So I looked into it a little bit more, and another friend of mine put together this spreadsheet. And the spreadsheet, basically what it does is it looks at if last January 1st you had invested, forget these ROIs and percent increases and all that. Okay, this is if you had invested $100 into the top coins. Let me just make this a little smaller, so move it over. If you had invested $100 into the top coins last January, all right? This is just if you had picked the top altcoins and put $100 into each one. Now we're talking about a total of 94 coins here. Now, this is what your return would be today, and that's in 1 year's time. All right, this is based on the percent increase in all these coins, and some of them were born during the year 2017, so you wouldn't have been able to invest in January, but if you had just put $100 into each one. Okay, now these purple ones here, like this one here, Rayblox, Verge, obviously, are ones that would return more than $100,000 for your $100 investment in less than a year, in a year's time. Okay, so you're talking about $100 invested for a more than $100,000 return. And so the purple ones, so Verge, $799,000. PIVX, $144,000. Triggers, $122,000. Look at this. Hempcoin. Look at this one. Hempcoin. $145,000. So who would have thought to invest in Hempcoin? But here's the kicker. Here's the real bomb right here. Kaboom. Okay? Don't kick yourself too hard when you see this number. That would be 2,566,000 $8,286.15 that you would have made in 1 year if you had put $100 into each of the top uh, performing altcoins. So maybe my friend's strategy is not that crazy. Maybe he looks for coins that are popping, okay, that are in the green, a dead cert, an absolute banker, ready to moon, ready to ride that rocket, ride that train to Profitville. Okay, you hear the talk on Reddit. Now he also has another strategy, which is I didn't mention, that is adds quite a bit of intelligence to his overall strategy, and that is he goes to the Reddit thread on each coin, and he looks for people, not the loudest person, who the guy who's blah blahing the most, but he looks for people who have in the past made comments like about Verge or about Ripple, whatever the coin is, that have been accurate, predictions that have been accurate, and reasonable predictions that seem to be based on intelligent background information, intelligent fundamentals, and that turn out to be accurate. And then he he looks for their comments and their predictions. So that's smart. And that's how he came upon Verge and Ripple. Now, our strategy, we always recommend looking at the fundamentals, okay? And so, with altcoin, we've talked about this before. Altcoin sector analysis, for example, the crypto privacy space, okay, solves the problem of the fact that Bitcoin is not really private. There's a lot of workarounds. So Verge is one of the coins in the crypto privacy space, and it's obviously made a huge move recently, but you can also analyze the fundamentals in the other coins within the crypto privacy space, like Zcash, Dash, and Monero. And again, Ripple is in the micro crypto space. It's really an interbank. System, efficient real-time cross-border transactions between financial institutions. That's the system that Ripple provides. And so we look at the history, the system, events likely to affect price, clouds on the horizon, anything that might be a negative for the coin. So it's always good to look at your fundamental analysis. But technically speaking, if you look to see which coins are trending within the space, and again, like my friend, look for cheap coins. Now, it doesn't really make mathematical sense necessarily to look for cheap coins. Okay, no matter what the price of the coin, your percentage gain is going to be the same, no matter based on how much money you invest, not how much the coin costs. But I guess it just a couple of things. One is it feels kind of cool to own 300,000 coins as opposed to like 0.06. And the other thing that's interesting is that my friend said, well, there's only, if it costs a penny, what's the downside? Well, that's a good philosophy. The downside, he invested in Verge back here when it was a penny, when it crossed over from 0.008 into dollars to $0.01. That's about where he got in. So it was a penny. And so it's a good point that there's very little room on the downside. I mean, how much lower can it go than a penny? But on the other hand, if you put $20,000 into it and it just crashes to zero, then you lose $20,000, no matter whether it costs you a penny or a dollar or $100 or $1,000 per coin. So the math really doesn't necessarily make sense, but psychologically it does, because buyers in the market are driving up the price, and somehow the difference between 1 cent and 2 cents just doesn't seem like the same as the difference between $10,000 and $20,000. And it's not the same, but percentage-wise it is. So that's the mathematical conundrum that we're dealing with. And my friend's strategy, which turns out to be a very intelligent one, based on this, if you look at the numbers, if you actually look at the analysis of if you had invested This is from January 17th, I mean January 1st of 2017 to January 1st of 2018, based on the percent increase. And this return on investment, these numbers are always confusing. Like, what does it mean? 16,300%, 33,000, 339,000%, 799,000%. It doesn't really ring very true, but these numbers do ring the cash register. Okay, this is $799,900 if you had invested $100 in Verge at the beginning of last year, and you didn't have to know which coins were going to moon. You didn't have to know which coins were going to pop, because look at this number. This is the $2.5 million you would have made if you had just put $100 into each one of these 94 coins. That's $9,400, less than $10,000 investment. So my friend's strategy doesn't seem that crazy overall. Again, looking at what he was actually talking about technical analysis without knowing it, because what he told me was that Verge is just bouncing around and Ripple looked better. And if you look at the trend line, you can see that Ripple looks like it's trending, whereas Verge looks to be more like it's just kind of bouncing around in a trading range after it popped, after it mooned. So you can see that the purple line, Ripple, is the one you'd want to get into here, not necessarily the red line, Verge. So that is our simple, super simple altcoin investment strategy for today. Find some cheap coins that are moving, low price coins that are moving. Look for threads on Reddit where some people have made reasonable predictions that seem to be based on some fundamental facts. Okay, you don't have to decide which particular coin you're going to invest in. Just take the top runners. In this case, the ones we looked at, if you look at the top performing coins over the past month, Verge is third and Ripple is fourth. So these coins are some of the top performers. So if you just took the list of all the top performing coins over the past month, you could actually do this right now and put $100 into each coin, and or 1,000. I mean, depending on how much money you want to invest. But this strategy does actually make some sense. Even though the first time I heard it, I thought it was nuts. But the guy's making a ton of money, but it's not just because he's making a ton of money, but there is actually some science and some math behind this. So look for the coins that are trending, and don't forget your fundamentals. It's a good idea to be familiar with the fundamentals of the sector in which you are investing. So we divide altcoins up into sectors and do fundamental and technical analysis to try to make decisions. So hopefully the information that I've given you today will help you make smarter, wiser, better informed, fact-based, research-based altcoin investment decisions. Ciao for now.